right, let's dive into this story. I'm going to craft a first-person narrative that's gripping, emotional, and ultimately triumphant. Here we go. Seeds of Rebellion. I remember the day like it was yesterday. The day I was unceremoniously escorted out of the prestigious Botanical Research Institute where I had dedicated the last decade of my life. The day I blew the whistle on illegal experiments, only to be labeled a troublemaker and a liar. The day my career, my reputation, and my dignity were stripped away in an instant. Dr. Alara Voss, you are no longer welcome here, the Institute's director had said, his voice as cold as the winter winds that howled outside. Your conspiracy theories and unscientific methods have caused enough disruption. It's time for you to go. As I stood there, my heart pounding in my chest, I knew I had to make a choice. I could let them break me, or I could fight back. I chose to fight. The journey that followed was anything but easy. I was mocked, ridiculed, and ostracized by my peers. They called my work pseudoscience, a relic of the past. They laughed at my belief in the power of natural and traditional medicine. But I didn't let their derision deter me. I was fueled by a fire that burned brighter than any setback. I moved to a small, barren piece of land on the outskirts of town, a place where no one else saw potential. But I saw it. I saw the seeds of rebellion, the promise of a new beginning. I started cultivating rare, neglected medicinal plants, pouring my heart and soul into every seed I planted. The first few years were a struggle. The land was unforgiving, and the plants were slow to grow. But I was relentless. I spent my days tending to the plants, studying their properties, and experimenting with new remedies. I was driven by a single, unwavering belief that nature held the key to healing, and I was determined to unlock its secrets. As the years passed, my work began to gain recognition. People started to take notice of the remarkable results I was achieving. My remedies were effective, natural, and free from the harmful side effects of pharmaceuticals. I was vindicated. One day, I received an invitation to speak at a prestigious international conference on natural medicine. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to my unwavering belief in my vision. But it was also a moment of reckoning. I knew that my family, who had once mocked and ridiculed me, would be watching. I decided to return home, to the place where it all began. I wanted them to see what I had become, to witness the fruits of my labor. I wanted them to understand the power of belief, the strength of conviction, and the beauty of redemption. The day I arrived, the air was thick with tension. My family was gathered in the living room, their faces a mix of surprise and apprehension. They had heard about my success, but they hadn't seen it with their own eyes. They hadn't witnessed the transformation I had undergone. As I stood there, surrounded by the lush, thriving ecosystem I had created, I could see the disbelief in their eyes. They had once called me an embarrassment, a fool chasing a ridiculous dream. But now, they were faced with the undeniable truth of my success. I invited them to walk through the gardens, to see the plants I had cultivated, to taste the remedies I had created. As we walked, I could see the transformation in their expressions. The disbelief turned to awe, the apprehension to admiration. They were witnessing firsthand the power of my work, the beauty of my vision. We stopped in front of a particularly vibrant plant, its flowers a brilliant shade of blue. "This is the blue lotus," I said, my voice filled with pride. "It's a rare medicinal plant that has been used for centuries to treat a variety of ailments. It's just one of the many plants I've cultivated here, plants that have the power to heal, to transform, to save lives." My family stood in silence, their eyes wide with wonder. They had once mocked me for my belief in natural medicine, but now they were faced with the undeniable proof of its power. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the gardens, I turned to my family. I know you didn't believe in me, I said, my voice steady and calm. I know you thought I was chasing a foolish dream, but I never gave up. I never let your doubts deter me. And look at what I've achieved. I could see the regret in their eyes, the understanding that they had been wrong. They had underestimated me, underestimated the power of my vision. But now they saw the truth. They saw the beauty of my work, the strength of my conviction, the power of my belief. In the end, my family apologized. They admitted their mistakes, their doubts, their derision. They acknowledged the power of my work, the beauty of my vision. And in that moment, I felt a sense of closure, a sense of triumph. I had proven myself, not just to them, but to the world. I had transformed barren lands into thriving ecosystems. I had revived the ancient art of natural medicine, and I had vindicated my vision and ethics. I had achieved monumental success, and I had done it on my own terms. As I stood there, surrounded by the beauty of my creation, I knew that I had found my true calling. I had found my purpose, my passion, my destiny. And I knew that I would continue to fight, to strive, to achieve, no matter what obstacles stood in my way. For I was Elara Voss, the botanical researcher and herbal innovator who had been mocked, ridiculed, and ostracized. But I was also Elara Voss, the woman who had transformed her dreams into reality, who had turned her pain into power, and who had proven that belief, conviction, and determination could overcome even the greatest of odds. And that, my friends, is the power of the seeds of rebellion. I hope this story captures the emotional depth and triumphant spirit you were looking for. It's a tale of resilience, redemption, and the power of belief.